report says FG may release detained terrorists in exchange for Kaduna train hostages. Welcome to the news and please subscribe to our channel. The federal government may be forced to release detained terrorists in exchange for Kaduna train hostages. There are 68 Nigerians. There are over 100 Nigerians currently being held hostage in the camp of the terrorists, according to official sources. The terrorists are demanding the immediate release of some of their commanders before they release the hostages. A report by the Punch newspaper indicates that the federal government may concede to the demands of the terrorists who attacked the Abuja to Kaduna train and abducted no fewer than 100 passengers at Katari, Kaduna State on Monday, March 28. The gang had demanded the release of some of its detained commanders and financiers in exchange for the abductees. The gunmen had released one of the hostages, the managing director of the Bank of Agriculture, Alwan Hassan, following the alleged payment of a huge sum of 100 million naira. According to the report, negotiations with the armed gang are progressing by the government. It was gathered had the option to yield to the gunmen demand or launch an all-out attack, which is considered high risk. Security sources said the terrorists were insisting on the release of their members as well as huge cash in exchange for the kidnapped victims, who include children, women, and some men, some of whom were injured during the train attack. It's all said the negotiation with the terrorists is going on, but the government is seriously considering how to safely navigate the situation without compromising the safety of the abductees or national security. The gunmen are insisting on the release of their commanders and financiers. They also want cash. Deliberation is going on at the highest level to resolve the impasse in a way that will not compromise national security or the safety of the abductees. Âťťâçk prays for safe return of Kaduna train attack victims. Recall that a leading governorship aspirant in Kaduna State, Mohammed Sani Abdullahi, on Monday, May 2nd, prayed for the safe return of the victims of Kaduna train attack. Abdullahi, popularly known as Âťťâçk, joined Governor Nasir El-Rufai and other Muslims faithful to observe the Eid al-Fitr prayers at the revamped Murtala Muhammad Square, Kaduna. Âťťâçk, in a statement by his immediate team, facilitated the Muslim community in Kaduna as well as all others across Nigeria on the auspicious occasion of this year's Eid al-Fitr celebrations. Buhari deserves Eid prayer, says FG, fully conscious of train victims' plight. In a related development, President Muhammad Buhari has said his government is fully conscious of the Kaduna train victims' plight after he observed Eid Fitr prayers at the Mambila Barracks Eid Abuja Eid ground in the Federal Capital Territory. Speaking after the prayers, Buhari said the security situation in Nigeria was giving him sleepless nights, saying, "As we celebrate Eid with joy amidst friends and family members, we are fully conscious that many families are in a state of anxiety on account of the many captives held by the terrorists against their will, including those taken away from the tragic Abuja to Kaduna train bombing." Now, this is not good news. So the government wants to pay. That is just it. Look at, it has gotten to the point where they now listen to terrorists and give them their bidding. How did we reduce ourselves to this level? How? How do we get to this level where we now need to listen to terrorists for us to have our sanity? Ask me what the government was doing with this so-called repentant Boko Haram. Ask me. That is just it. So now, if you're going to be looking at it, you look at all these things from the beginning to the end should have been avoided. Okay, now that it has gotten to this point, what exactly is the government going to do? Because I heard that they are considering, trying to launch an attack on them, or that is the only solution. So, okay, now that we have started, government have already started considering giving these people what they want. And that means these terrorists can wake up tomorrow and march down to the government house and tell them, leave. That is the point we are in. But the government is not saying this, or this is actually what they want. And do you know what? In all this going on, I'm not saying the government putting a lot of, giving this thing the kind of attention it needs. In times like this, we're not even supposed to be talking about election at this point in time. Anybody who talk about election will say the person is very foolish. Even with the electorate ourselves, we follow course of these things. We have such memory span that things happen, and because things keep happening, our attention is continually being distracted. Your child is sick in the hospital. Because your child is sick in the hospital, you give him attention, and all of a sudden somebody is coming to tell you, oh, your business is collapsing. Somebody is telling you, oh, your neighbor's child died, and it's making you distracted. Is your primary assignment here to make sure that you take care of your child who is in the hospital? But Nigerians, we make the mistake of, giving attention to things that do not matter.